Hi guys, and welcome back to Run Stretch Succeed here, and today I've got a video what I can't actually believe I didn't make before now, as it makes perfect sense. I am going to do a video on what I learned from running my first 100-mile ultra marathon. So earlier this year I ran Leeds to Liverpool 130-mile ultra. It was a great achievement, but also it's made me change my mind and my perception about running an ultra, and I thought I might well share these points with you. Also, I might be recording this video in two sections, so if my clothes change, that's why. So let's get straight to the first point. So my first point is, you will never feel like you've trained enough for your first 100-miler, and that's because, do you ever feel like you've trained enough for a race? I haven't. I always thought there should be some more training. Also, I feel like this comes down to misinformation and looking far too much into things. As when I was trying to find my schedule and my plan for training for my first 100-miler, I didn't even know how far I was meant to run a week. So I went into Facebook groups and asked, and I feel like the people who came forwards were quite elite. They were saying I had to do 100 to 105 miles per week. What isn't possible for everyone, for starters, and also that is a lot of training, and you don't even need to do half of that. I would say you could even get away with doing like 40 miles per week. I would recommend doing higher, but I feel like a bare minimum, you could easily get away with 40 miles if you have a good lifestyle and you're quite physical in a job, because I feel like that goes a lot into it for me, as I do teach fitness. Obviously that comes hand in hand with training, as I do work out quite a lot a day, but I do feel like I researched far too much into it. I looked far too much into it itself as well, because I was really nervous. I was really upset I was going to pull out, because I was like, I've not done 100 miles per week. And when someone just took me to a side and said, what, you're doing 70 miles per week? That's quite a bit. I was amazed. So I feel like, don't put yourself down because you've not trained as hard as you feel like you need to, because most of the time we have to have a bad day. We're not robots, we are people. So our training plan probably won't go to plan. Just try to stick to it as much as can, and just have a lot of self-belief to make that up. Point number 2 is pre-race week is just as important as the race itself. This is where you're preparing your body for do the task in hand. This could be like organisation. That week I literally organised everything I was doing, had my kit back ready, had my food for the day before and breakfast. I knew when I woke up that what I would be doing, how long it would take me to get in the car, how long it would take me to get there, what I wanted to do, like my pre-race rituals. Well, I don't really have any. I just like getting there quite early so that I'm not stressing about what will come, and also stressing about being late. I would hate to be late to a race. Also with this, I cut out caffeine completely. I think I had like 2 cups that week of tea, what is a big difference from 10 a day, because I'm British and I love my tea. Also, I took sleeping tablets, making sure I had like at least 6 hours sleep 2 nights a week, because I sleep really badly. It can be like 2 hours a night some nights, sometimes it's more. My nutrition, I tried to put whole foods in me, stuff what I felt like would give me nutrition. I put some quite calorific food in, so I would have the calories in me stored. Also, I was taking electrolytes before the race, making sure I was drinking a lot of water that week, because being dehydrated when you're doing a 100-miler is absolutely a nightmare, because you have to think, sometimes I wasn't having water for like an hour because I would just run out of water and there was no water stations. So the more hydrated you can be before the race, obviously the more impact that is going to have on your overall hydration throughout the race. Also, try steer clear to anything like alcohol because that's going to dehydrate you. But we do work hard, we do train hard, so like I guess it's up to you, but try to keep to a healthy balanced diet, hydration, sleep, and all them things we should do really on a daily basis to keep healthy, what is not always possible. My next point is stay to your own pace and don't be scared of leaving anyone, because I feel like I did this at one point of the race. There was a group I was with and they was running for 3 minutes and walking for 7 because it was quite late, but at the time I felt like I had more energy than this, so I feel like I should have left them and gone on my own. This is no like disrespect to the people, it was just at that point I felt like I had more energy than later on in the race, and I felt like that is because you go from peaks and lows. So at that point in the race I was on a peak and I felt like I had quite a lot of energy. Later on I just didn't have as much energy and I wasn't in the same mental motivated mind state, and that's why I felt like I should have left and used the positive mind state I was in at the time to get a couple of miles further. So just don't worry about leaving people, it's not offensive. I feel like everyone gets that everyone wants the best potential at their race, and that everyone would be okay with someone leaving you even if you've latched onto a group, so don't worry about that. So the 4th point is research your nutrition, as even that I've done plenty of ultra marathons. Ultras are a total different thing. I have Tailwind, what is liquid calories, and electrolytes, what is absolutely amazing, and I would highly recommend it. Just get some extra calories in so you don't get hungry on the race. But I felt like I used a lot of like bears and stuff, bears, stuff what you'd expect runners to use, but really I think I should have done more research into more out of the box thinking stuff. So we had like potatoes, tin potatoes, what were absolutely amazing. They felt really filling, they was really easy to eat, but I think mentally it made me feel like I was consuming food rather than some chocolate bar. It was more filling. I think having the mental and physically seeing food go into me made me a lot less hungry than eating bars and having gels and just the Tailwind. I would just recommend researching as much as you can and having as many different options, even stuff that you don't think you will eat. Take it just in case if you can. I know it's hard sometimes. I think you can never have enough options, and just have as much as you can. Think outside the box and just have it there just in case you need it, as I didn't realise how good potatoes and watermelon and stuff like that would be. Stuff what I've seen on videos and what are advertised good for running, rather than just some basics what are actually quite financially cheaper. So I would have a think about that. If you have some ideas of food what could be good, what you've never tried and what are a bit out of the box, please comment it below and we can all share our ideas, and maybe it might not be good for you, but it might be good for someone else watching this video. So number 5, I think, I always get lost with numbers when I do these, so sorry if it's wrong, but with training and the race itself, trust the process, just believe in what you're doing and just have a bit of belief in yourself. On race day, the first 10 miles were the worst part of the race. I needed to go to the toilet, my legs were killing me, like, I don't get why they were so bad, but it was literally like I ran the 100 miles at the start of the race and I just didn't know how I was going to get through it. But I just thought, we'll just keep going and we'll just see what happens. By about 30 miles in the race, I felt so fresh compared to the beginning, what probably is quite normal, it just doesn't make sense. you think you'd be more fresher at the start of the race compared to the end of the race. But trust the process when it comes to training and the race itself. Sometimes things just unfold and get better as you go on, and sometimes they can get a bit worse. But if you trust the process and fight yourself through it, you will come out better, stronger and more motivated than the last time you was on that low. Tip number 6 is keep them legs rolling, run through the dark. I don't mean you have to constantly be running, but make sure you are taking run walk breaks. If you start for about 6 hours, you will find it harder to start. I've actually not experienced this as such. Some guy said it to me on Leeds to Liverpool, and I never thought about it because I didn't feel like stopping at that point, but it made perfect sense. If you started walking, you'd probably get cold, lethargic, bored, and probably start losing motivation, as I feel like when you're doing an ultra, you kind of have to keep the momentum going, kind of just get in the mindset of the ultra. And if you can keep that mindset, keep the motivation, keep the momentum, you'll be perfectly fine. So point number 7 is to break it down into bite-sized pieces. So I think my races, finishing is the outcome, the breakdown is the stuff I need to do in the outcome. So every section is a different thing I need to complete to make the outcome I want, finishing the race, complete. So I usually use checkpoints to do this because I feel like it is a physical thing you see, also it is something you can aim for. I've always used the checkpoints, and this is because I feel like it's something I physically can see. When I get there, there's always like food, water, so that is my goal, to get the food and water. I feel like I've achieved, I've been awarded, so it makes me feel really good that I made it there. So that also motivates me to get to the next checkpoint. Even that, I do make it into checkpoints. There has been times in races where the checkpoint has been like 30 miles, 20 miles, at a point where I've not been that quick. I've been a bit dehydrated because it's been sunny, so I had to break it down even more. So I would do halfway to a checkpoint and to the checkpoint till I feel better, feel a bit on a peak, and that seems to work for me. I just think making easy achievable goals makes it easier to complete the full thing. Feeling like you're awarding yourself every so often just helps me have motivation. Point number 8 is try to fix the issue before it's a problem. So this could be your shoes not working with you, it could be a knee pain, could be blisters, could be dehydration, could be anything literally. But if you fix the problem before it's even an issue, that is the best thing you could do at the time. You don't want something to become an issue because that is going to drag you down, to be honest. I know this isn't always possible, and if something becomes an issue and it's not making you feel too good, just feel positive about the situation. Make sure you always sort the problem before it's even an issue, as nasty knees and blisters can't always be prevented, but if you can prevent them, it's going to make your race a lot more easier. Point number 9 is believe. Believe in yourself, believe in your kit, and believe in your training. Self-belief in ultras and just belief in general is a lot stronger than your body. Most ultras is mind over matter. If you tell your mind that you can do the ultra, you will carry on running for a long time, a lot longer than you expect. You have spent a long time training with this training plan and researching it. It is the best training plan you could stick to. So believe in it yourself. You created it, and that's because you knew it would finish the race. So self-belief and keeping the right mindset is the most important thing about ultras. It's more powerful than anything. Point number 10 is believe in the human body. The human body knows what it needs to know and knows when you're hungry, when you're going to be in pain. It tries to fix itself. It tries to do a load of amazing stuff. We're born with so many functions what are just built into us. So just believe in the human body and nature. This is why we kind of do these races, is to be in nature itself, and the human body is just such a clever device. If you can learn to listen to your body, you can do practically anything, and I truly believe that. So guys, I guess that's the end of the video. I have really enjoyed making this video, and it just came out of nowhere. It just like popped into my head, and I thought, why not do that? So I hope you've learned something from the video, and if you have thought of something I have not mentioned, please put it down in the comments. We can use this as a collective library of information for new ultra runners or ultra runners who want to up their distance. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe and give it a like. Also through December, I have got a mobility challenge. It's to make flexibility training and mobility training fun. So that will be posted on my Instagram, so come and follow me on there if you want to take part. And guys, I'll see you next time, and keep on running.